We are back. All right, so I'm back doing the full moon in Gemini video. And this full moon in Gemini is occurring on December the 4th. And, it takes a couple of days for the full moon energy to play out. But this is the biggest thing that I want for you guys to focus on. And then when I go to each individual sign to, really, take in where and how this is playing out. And, it may call for a little twist or change in perspective. It may call for some questions to be answered. It may call for some questioning, but more than anything is going to call for decision making. I see this full moon in Gemini as putting the ball back into each individual's court and making necessary choices that takes one thing out. Because once you make these choices, once you make these decisions, it takes one thing out, it cancels one thing, or it puts it on a back burner for a second, or until you want to pick it back up again if you do it all. And it puts another thing, the other choice, the choice that was made, into the forefront, meaning that it may require you, and it's a choice, so it's something that you want. Remember that. So it may require you to make a decision and act on it. But the goal is to get an outcome, to get to an outcome. That's why we're making a choice, right? And these decisions. But it may require you to get to that designated outcome to change perspective on the way that you're looking at the situation. And I know it's like a trick. However, you got to understand that this full moon in Gemini is happening in, it's happening in Gemini, but it's in opposition to Sagittarius. Not Mercury, Sagittarius. Venus is Sagittarius. The sun been in Sagittarius. I'm not sure about Mars. I didn't track that yet, but in opposition, right, to that Sagittarius energy. And typically that opposition is happening. Well, you got to look at the houses. If you have Gemini full moon in the first house, the opposition is happening in the 7th house, dealing with relationships and people, right? Money, finances, material goods, our value and our worth. And what we're doing is how we would typically look at an opposition, how we would think about it, our emotional state of being behind it. The way we would typically look at it, we have to kind of turn that in. It's like the inverse. And we're befriending that Sagittarius energy in order to do it. But listen, I am going to talk about this more for each sign, and then how it's playing out for each sign. I know I usually make the intro longer. I want to just kind of keep it short, and then you can take a look at the intro to get some sort of feel about where I'm going, how I'm coming up with the transits and how I'm reading them. And then you can go from there. All right. Take a look at your sun. Take a look at your rising mostly. Like I said, I've had people say that they take a look at different placements. Okay, fine, do that. And I know where else you can take a look at, wherever this is playing out in your actual birth chart. Okay, this here, we're talking about the signs. This here, we are talking about the signs. But look at let's say you have Mercury and Gemini. All right, you can apply this. Full moon is going to happen and is going to affect your mental state of being. Perspective is heavy, and it been in Gemini, communication or no communication, depending on how you would typically handle something, right? It could be a thought process that you focus on. If you have Venus in Gemini, this could be dealing with other people and relationships, material gains, material assets, how you see yourself. And then according to that, how you make a decision to move forward, those are the things that you're going to do and let go of the other thing for right now. I'm not even going to say forever, because some people have a very big issue when it's like you're telling them, oh, you got to let go of a person forever, or you got to let go of this job, or you got to let go of this situation. Okay, fine. We won't say forever. But what can you put on the back burner? Because we need clear emotions and clear mental state of being, and to dig out that subconscious to see that, okay, how am I looking at this? How am I making my approaches in life? I know sometimes y'all just want to get toxic, but I'm telling you that it's not benefiting people. Fun in relationships where you have a little healthy competition, if people spend more time there, do you know how fulfilling that they could possibly be in relationships? People want to spend their time chasing each other around. Like, God, listen to this. See, y'all done made me think of some things that I really feel like people do not get. They don't get about me. All right. One, I am not chasing people around. People have this thing, ego driven. I don't know. I mean, I be feeling like when we're highly confident and we're confident in ourselves, that's a little bit of ego. But that's rightfully so. I am never the person that's going to say completely get rid of your ego, because it's there for a reason. It's like getting rid of the skull, your skull, when it's protecting your brain. Okay. But I am saying balance is needed. And I never will understand, because when I see a person that's running around like they're lost, like chicken with a head cut off, running from this place, running to that place, it's like, who chases after these people? I'm like, how the hell does this people stay with men and women? Or how do they stay with people that they constantly can rotate? It's just absurd to me. It just shows that it's giving like the narcissistic empath dynamic, to where the empath some kind of way has this fixation on the narcissist, because it's like the narcissist won't give in to what they want. And they like the fact there's some sort of empowerment in them being able to cater to the narcissist. It's just as much as the narcissist is to blame. And I look at stuff like that. I start to see through a lot of stuff, and I'm just like, people, as far as I'm concerned, I just don't find any interest in that. If you guys find yourself in situations where somebody is running around, it's the whole time that you're interacting. Most of the time you're interacting, they're showing off. They're going from person to person, place to place, having you chase them, act like they're not interested. I mean, it's only but so much you're going to do that. The rest of it, if you naturally are a person that's busy, or you have things going on for yourself, you don't have to act or pretend. You don't even have to set anything up. You're just naturally doing what you do. That is healthy acting, healthy behaviors, not toxic. Even if you're not going to be with a person forever, the individuals could literally spend their time. Okay, so you want to plan a trip, like actually doing things. Hey, you want to plan a trip? I would like to. I always said I wanted to go there. You do? I do too. Okay, let's go there. That's something that we could do. You know what I mean? Because we both want to do it. We all want to do it. Everything is just so freaking transactional. And I know why. I know why, from the male's point of men and the female woman's point of view, why. But it's like, when is you ever really just being authentic? Like just sitting there with a person and just being yourself, just being able to just say, okay, this is me. Like what happened today? Man, work sucked like hell. But I did like the chicken biscuits that they served. I know, right? Why it is tiring. And I don't see how people do these type of relationships and then say, oh, this is great, I'm in this type of relationship. This man isn't available, but yet when he does come around, I feel good for the moment. Like, why? So healthy could look like we have healthy competition. We may get into a little argument, but it's not. It's like a little bit, oh yeah, so what, no, actually that did not happen. No, it didn't happen. It did not, something to where it's not You have your little argument, you have your little dispute, but it's okay. Okay, well, fine. If it's something that we can't move past, well, then we can't move past it. If it's something that we can, maybe we need to take a little bit of time. Maybe we need to take a little bit of distance, whatever the case may be, and come back and have a conversation about it. If not, have fun. Turn up. Do what you do. Live life. But all this extra stuff, people try extra hard to be toxic. Y'all think it's so fun being toxic. How? You have to put an enormous amount of stress on yourself and the other person. Anyways, I'm going to stop there. Go check out your sign so we can line you up and see what choice you are making, or make that the choices that's posed to you. And then what you got to check, what you got to make. All right. Okay. Hello, Aries. Okay. So the full moon in Gemini is happening for you in your third house. In your third house. So this is the thing, because this is something that you've been working on. Uranus was there inside your third house for a while before it retrograded back into Taurus, making you think about your wants and your needs and value and assets and how that looks and possessions and things of that nature. And then Uranus sitting there, it could possibly have you losing it or shaking things up. However, the question that you have to make a choice when it comes to your direction, because the opposite of Gemini is Sagittarius, and this is the ninth house. It's about direction. It's about experiences. You're asking yourself the choice of, okay, let's say God was like, okay, Aries, you got a choice. What do you want to have? What type of experiences do you want to have? Do you want to have new experiences to where it advance you in life, to where you possibly learn, and what you learn opens you up to a whole new experience? Or would you want to have the same experiences, right? To where you're familiar with, about it, maybe you can teach it to others. Because let's say that you're a professor and you teach biology. Maybe you want to stay teaching biology. Maybe you want to say, well, what you're familiar with. Well, what is that you know? But you have to ask yourself this question, because the third house is what we are in our immediate environment, what we're familiar with, how we typically think. So this choice is going to require you to open up and expand on how you typically think. And you may have to change your perspective or turn your perspective around in some type of way to see some experience that you had or been having differently. And I'm going to tell you, it could be between you looking at certain experiences you have as a misfortune, and it's not going in your favor and it's causing you harm. Maybe though, the experiences that you're having is happening for you to challenge yourself in order to come out on the other side, in order to progress. Because think about it like this. If everything was all peachy keen all the time, we didn't have any challenges, we didn't have any struggles, how can the universe really get our attention for greater things, to tell us, hey, it's time to experience other things, something else? How? When we're comfortable. Most times people don't change when they're comfortable. They change when something requires them to change. They change when they're tired of dealing with something. Oh, they change through awareness. So some sort of awareness is some sort of awakening that you're having is causing you to think or see the bigger picture. And you have to decide what that is for you. And this is what you're making a choice on. And then you got to let go of the other thing. You got to let the other thing go. You got to let it go to the back burner. You hold on too tightly to something. And either way you look at it, Aries, this particular full moon is letting you know you don't know everything just yet. I don't even feel like it's that you feel like you do, but I'm saying that you don't know everything just yet because there's more experiences that you could have. Do you understand? Fulfilling, prosperous, adventurous experiences. So you got to break free, or you have to make the choice to do so. All right. Thank you, Aries. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, because I will be back. All right, Taurus, you're having a full moon in Gemini in your second house of you. What you value, assets, property, finance, maybe some of you guys have to look at where you sell yourself short at, and you keep giving yourself these explanations. So yeah, things happen, right? We know that. However, you keep giving yourself these explanations. You keep giving other people these explanations. And then, it gets to the point where you have to ask yourself the question, Taurus, what are you explaining yourself for? What are you explaining your life for? Do other people really want to know? Are other people really questioning this? Like, who are you battling for real? Or is this something you want the answer to? Is this something you want to know? Right? In order for you to make your choices going forward. You have to choose between your second house of Gemini and your eighth house. Okay. Sagittarius is in your eighth house. Marriage, is that something for you? And if you are married, putting our joint finances together, is that something for you? Because I feel that you want to, even in a marriage, even in a relationship, even in a business partnership, whatever it is, you don't want everything joint. You don't want everything together. You don't want anything that people can hold over your head, right? Because it's like you've already been there. You already done that. Or even if you have not been there or done that, it's something about you to where you've learned the independent, whatever experiences that you had. And this could be something that gets in your way too, but you learned the art of independence, the independent aspect of life that you had to live in a way to get yourself from one place to the next, to get yourself from one experience to the next. So now having to join forces, you still want to have it to where it makes sense for you. Like, well, if I did get a divorce, I don't want to lose everything. Or if the person did gamble the money and the assets, I don't want to lose everything. I still want to have something. Or what does it look like to have a successful business for myself, or something that I'm doing for myself based off of, or not just on the fact or the strength of someone else? And some of you guys want to take intimacy to a whole new level. Okay. Emotional intimacy. Because for some of you guys, and maybe you're with somebody that can happen with, don't get me to lying. Some of you guys, it just depends. You could be with someone that can happen with, and then for others of you guys, you're with someone, but that's not happening. That's not what you're getting. But the point is, you have to, even on business, something you're moving forward on, something with finances, something with money, joint money, getting loans, getting out of debt. You have to ask yourself the question of, how do you value yourself? What do you need to learn? Right? And there's multiple questions there. Getting out of debt. Okay, well, I want my credit score better. All right, what do I do? It's something that you need to go further into. And some of you guys are playing it safe. And you have to ask yourself the real question of, where am I playing it safe at? Now, taking risks playing it safe could be not taking any risk at all. Being stuck, being stagnant, being stubborn. Taking a risk could be, all right, I know that I could go a step further. I know that I could do a little bit better. What does that look like? All right. Okay, Taurus, thank you for joining me. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, because I'll be back. Hello, Gemini. So we're having a full moon in Gemini on December the 4th. And you have the biggest question of them all. This question is about you in your first house, Gemini. The question is, with what you know, with where you're at right now, what thought process, what way of communicating, what you have learned and what you need to learn. What do you need to do different in order to get the results that you want? Where could you shift your perspective? And it's not because, listen, it depends. Because if you're a Gemini and you have been completely understanding of other people and you have gave mercy, however the case may be, you might need to be a Gemini, be a little bit cutthroat right now. And cutthroat does not mean harming people. It could just be where you say, you know what? I'm done for right now. Your problems and your matters don't and will not affect me. I got things that I have to tend to and get wrapped up into that. Where have you been limiting yourself with your thought process? That's another question, right? So what could you let go of? The way that you've been thinking, maybe about yourself, how you see yourself. Maybe you have seen yourself in a place, and you sometimes, guys, we can't see ourselves the way that other people can. And there could have been a lot of Geminis. There could be a lot of you that see yourself in whatever you have been experiencing. That is what you have been accustomed to. That is what you know. That is how you see yourself, whether you know it or not. But it's time for you to see yourself as a different person. It's time for you to see yourself as that other twin or the combined twins. It's time for you to see yourself at another level. And you got to ask yourself the question, Geminis, where have I been playing too small? Where have I let myself go? Where? Answer that question. And then let the other thing go. So, the opposite that's coming up against you, it could be other people. It could be, because Sagittarius in your 7th house. We have Venus there. We have the sun there. And this is not necessarily the time to fight over or compete. Because what the sun here will have you doing is competing and fighting for attention or fighting for that spotlight or fighting to be picked. Like, I know you didn't pick her. Let me show you how better I am. No, not that you can't be better, but your intention, your goal right now should be to develop who you are and what you want that to look like. Not to compete against with someone else, not to keep someone, but develop who you are. And the other thing that you are not, let me tell you, because some of you guys have been in relationships with people or with someone, or even when it comes to something dealing with business, finances, friendships, whatever, just other people, because the 7th house is the house of popularity, to knowing people, even fame on some levels, right? And with that being said, there could be a direction that you wanted to go in. There could be something that you wanted to do. There could be a way that you wanted to look, but you felt that you want to make other people feel comfortable, or you feel like other people around you are not accepting it. However the case may be, something that you want to break free from, but you're just like, I don't know, because what if, even in your love interest, and this could be, let me say, if it's not you, it could be someone else, but you can't make other people do anything. So the best option would be is to not. However, I'm telling you, there's people that's coming and they're looking in your direction. And what they're going to do, if you, depending on what decision you make, because some of you guys might be, I'm about to go fight them then. I'm about to go fight them tooth and nail. Some of you guys make the decision to be like, you know what? I'm going to actually go towards myself and focus on that. What's going to happen when the dust settles is you're going to see, or these people are going to see, they're not fighting you, they're fighting themselves. They're fighting each other. And you're off making your life happen. And guess what they do? Because this is the 7th house. They turn and they slowly, or actually a little bit with a little bit more speed, because Sagittarius is here, and they turn and they start looking at you. Not wrestling and fighting and competing over them or with them, but you there, bettering yourself. There, focusing on something else. And here they come. But you got to make the decision. Where can you just say, you know what? I could do way better. Thank you, Gemini. Like the video, subscribe to the channel because I will be back. Cancer. Okay, so Cancer, you are having a full moon in Gemini in your 12th house. This is the thing, because here I feel like you could be possibly, I don't know, maybe you were connecting with somebody and it was, maybe you have a secret crush, or you're shying away from your feelings, or you're tired of being a secret with this person, whatever the case may be. It's something that you were not seeing, and you get some sort of information or some sort of awareness that now you see it. You see it because you see yourself different. It's something that you heal from. And I know some of you guys have been working on yourself. Maybe you could be in a relationship or entertaining somebody. I don't know. It really doesn't matter. Or you could be working on yourself. Maybe the relationship or the situation or something that was said or something that you heard brings things back to you. And you really look at things differently. You have to decide, okay, do I heal? Do I release this, or do I hold on to it? Now, this is the thing. With what you know, with what you find out, that's the decision that you have to make. And what's opposing you is your 6th house, your work, the work you've done on yourself. This could even be like somebody that comes back and forth out of your life or in and out of your life. And when they're there is, it throws your emotions one way. And then when they leave, it throws your emotions another way. And you're just always on this emotional roller coaster. It could be the way that you think. Like maybe is you kind of just going off of the way that you feel. And the way when you start thinking about things, you start thinking about, the course of your life or certain experiences, certain things that happen, and you really confront those things instead of just knowing that you feel a certain type of way about it. You really confront these things. Maybe that's talking to somebody. Maybe that is writing. Maybe that is just accepting it. And you start to work on these things. You start to physically work towards making these changes that you need. And this is where you see changes in work too, and things that you're developing, and you're seeing that you want to be in more in relationships that are seen, to where energy is put in both ways, to where you get your needs met more. But some of you guys may decide that you want to work on something independently, like make your own money or enjoy your money, enjoy your time, take your money and travel. But you got to ask yourself the question of where you allowed yourself to, operate more in fear in this place, this isolated place, to where you could want more, but you settle because you fear something repeating from the past again. So you have to ask yourself the question, Cancer. What do you really want to work on? Where do you want to go in life? Where's your direction? And then you have to do the things that get you there. All right. Thank you, Cancer, for joining me for this video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel because I will be back. Leo. Okay. So hello, Leo. You have a full moon in Gemini in your 11th house. So, wow. Some friendship or some relationship you let go of, possibly. It could have been hard for you to do, but maybe you finally let go. And you do so because, I don't know, maybe you communicate to your person. Maybe you did this with yourself. Sometimes we have these check-ins with ourselves, right? But you got the information, you got some answers that let you know that you're ready to let go of, because I'm seeing this as the way that you see things, and as well as your affiliations, who you have yourself around, and the way that these people make us think. Now, this is the thing. If we are the type of people to where we can be around people, we can have friendships, we can see things, take in different information, whatever the case may be, and it doesn't affect us, that's one thing. But when we are trying to impress people, or we're trying to look a certain type of way, or we are just want to maintain these certain relationships, and we are doing the same things and the same behaviors, and we're seeing the same outcomes that really that we feel like it's not going in our favors, then that's when we have to assess what it is that we're doing. And let me tell you something, you may have some sort of insight, you might have some sort of information, Leo, to where something you wish for, something you saw for your future, something you were so sure about, something you really opened yourself up to, that now it's not happening, or it's not what you really want anymore, or it's done. And you have, and even if it's not done forever, you still, for right now, okay, if you didn't look at the intro, you have to ask yourself, where can you leave this thing behind? Where can you leave the situation behind, or just on the back burner? Why? What's opposing you? The fifth house of you, Sagittarius, the fifth house of you. Because something is requiring you to go to the next level. Something is requiring your maturity. Something is requiring you like change for you in order to move forward. And this may be you embarking on a new dream, or from a different approach, following a new skill, or perfecting your craft in some type of way. Acquiring a new vision for yourself and how you're going to get there, because something is not fulfilling. It was once at a point, it was once. Now, I also see this too whenever, because like, let me speak for myself. I have from where I started in my trajectory, the life that I have, to where I'm at, to where I ended. Oh my gosh, that was a process. And what I once wanted for myself, I know deep down inside, myself is still there. Like, what I want to do overall is still there. But what I was doing to get there has changed. I have developed myself. I hear people comment all the time where they're like, wow, you really have, you really are skilled. You, like, I could tell that the way that your delivery, everything is different. And I'm like, yeah, because we cannot stay the same and think that everything's okay out of ego or whatever. I'm not pushing ego on y'all, but y'all know, babies, it stops us from getting what we want. And you got to ask yourself the question of, okay, so what do you want for yourself, Leo? What do you want for yourself? See, y'all about to make me do it. F what other people want. F what your friends say. I told you already. Those same people that you are trying to impress, or that you're feeling like you're safe at that point, those same people will go and do something, do the exact opposite, or they're going to live their life. They're going to make choices for themselves. Even this could be even a relationship partner. Because it's something that you're detached from. You're not on the same page. With this person, listen, I'm just telling you, you're not. This is about you right now. And if you want to get on the same page with this person, this is still about you. Where do you stand? What do you want? How are you going to do it? And you guys can meet around. You guys can meet back up with each other. You guys can, I'm not saying that you have to be separated from somebody or not be with them forever. I'm not saying that. However, it's time for some reassessment. And you have to ask yourself the question of the Leo that you're becoming now, or that you want to become. What do you want now? what choice would that be? And how do you move towards it? So some of you guys got to refine yourself. All right. Thank you, Leo. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, because you know I'll be back. Virgo. How's it going, Virgo? So you're having a full moon in Gemini in your 10th house of career. And this is the thing, because you've been trying to make a decision, making a choice for a while of the developments. If it's not the developments, about the developments of your career, your public image, it is what you're building. Oh, that's the developments. I'm saying, I'm sorry. It is what you want to let go of, like what you want to move towards, what you really want to do, what that means for you, what that looks like. What are you letting go? It could possibly be an image of perfection. However, y'all don't be doing too bad. If you notice, if you have looked at some of my previous transit videos, and maybe you had a rising sign, or depending on what rising sign you have, or if you could be rising and you might have a different sun, you could be rising Virgo and have a different sun sign. You know, I have been eating the other signs alive. Y'all, for some reason, I mean, I gotta just give y'all the scoop here and there, but for some reason, it's like y'all like holding y'all's own right now. And it's just touch and go for Virgo. And so for you guys, what's opposing your 10th house, and what you got to ask yourself the question of about what's opposing your 10th house is your 4th house, a family, security, but something that you guys could be feeling insecure about how you feel about revealing that, like your true self for some reason. Like you want to be intimate. You want to have some sort of closeness, some sort of bond that you develop like within your family unit, or with even with yourself, or just like share that with people. But you got to look put together. You got to be about your career. You're striving for something. You're working hard for something. And it's like, okay, but at the end of the day, what is going to make you feel secure for real? Like what emotionally satisfies you? Some of y'all, I don't know, because that might be what you're going towards, baby, especially if you get a little boo thing, and you might have a boo thing from another culture. Y'all might need to do a little bit of traveling, and not make it all about work and monotony all the time. Because what you want is you want to be able to create situations to where, so you take a little bit of break from work, but you want to create situations with your loved ones to where it was something meaningful that you guys did. And, people was emotionally available, and people's emotions was put there and honored and fulfilled, and all of that. Even sometimes with our kids, we could get stuck in, what I got to leave for my kids. And don't get me wrong, fine, do that. But what I got to leave for my kids, what legacy am I leaving? What am I passing down? What image am I leaving for them? But we forget to actually just be there when it matters the most. And it could be to tuck them in for bed. It could be to say, you know what? You're awesome. You're really pretty. You make me smile. Like, I am blessed and honored and just lucky to have you. Just to be there to listen to them cry, or to complain about their stomach hurts without trying to find a remedy or cure, without telling them, hey, I told you not to eat all that junk food. Maybe just to be like, oh, it hurts. Oh, I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry, honey. You'll be surprised how far that goes for someone that wants to be emotionally validated. So you got to make a choice. If right now, what things look like, what you're working on, what you're building, what you're trying to leave is more important than self-fulfillment. But it could be connected, because for some of you guys, your security is based on the finances that you're making. I get it. But at the same time, a little bit of openness, a little bit of emotional connection, a little bit of security for self is what is going to get you there. Checking in with how you feel. All right, Virgo. Thank you for joining me. Like the video, subscribe to the channel because I will be back. All right, Libra. Okay, Libra. So you have a full moon in the sign of Gemini happening in your 9th house. And there for you, maybe you're making a decision on what direction to go in educational wise next. You could be making a decision to decide what experiences that you keep having that you're done having. And you could have learned this through lessons. You could have learned this through experience. Doing things is just like having a real life lesson playing out in our face, playing out. And there's something that you learned about and you realize, and it could have been through maybe going to counseling or through someone telling you something. You get inside some sort of message or you hearing something back. That you could be done with a certain friendship. You could be done with a certain belief system. You could be done with a certain experience or certain experiences. But you have to ask yourself the question of, because, oh my God, I'm hearing boys and men, although we come to the end of the road. And this is one of those things where somebody or something is not going to let go of you. You have to let go of it. Them. That. And what's opposing you? Your 3rd house, where you're not running from your decisions. You're not running from your experiences. You're not acting out because of it. You're embracing them and you're understanding that they were a part of your life. Your experiences is a part of your life. It's a part of who you are. It's what makes you real. And you're thinking about this because you're ready to have some new experiences. I don't know. Maybe somebody proposes to you. Maybe you could have been fearful of this. You could be fearful of the next steps. And I get it. It's hard. I mean, we have conflictions because we have the full moon happening in Gemini, which is in your 9th house, right? The opposite of itself. And we have the opposition, Sagittarius, which is in the 3rd house of Gemini, the opposite of itself. So it's a challenge with communications and coming together. It could easily be, things misconstrued, things like delivered the wrong way, things where you feel that maybe other people should know how you're feeling and how you're thinking and they don't. And you have to tell them, you have to communicate this to them. Because if you don't, what you need to say, what you want to, it could be like a communication barrier period, because maybe people don't communicate the same as you, or there's a different communication style, right? However, this is the thing. Another thing you have to watch out for is misinformation or gossip. Misinformation will have you on the wrong path or seeking out the wrong thing, the wrong direction, and then having to realize like, like what was I doing? That's what I'm getting here. But it's not a guilt thing. This is just about maybe taking things in, seeing things from a different perspective, and maybe even seeing why a person would act the way that they would or respond the way that they would, right? And then it helps you get an understanding of how you want to deliver something, or even how you want to tell people that they're responding to you and they're thinking wrong with what they're thinking about you. But the thing about it is we don't want to get in like defending ourselves. Don't try to defend yourself. Because when we try to defend ourselves, in these type of situations, then we start trying to explain ourselves. And then we start trying to explain the situation away. No. Whatever you have been experiencing, it has been limiting you. And it's based on your relationships. It could be fear. It could be anything. Now it's time to have new experiences. It's time to shift your perspective and see yourself from your point of view, not other people, not someone else. What do you want to do, Libra? All right. It's full moon in Gemini. Like the video, subscribe to the channel because I will be back. Scorpio. So we are back with the full moon happening in Gemini on December the 4th. And for you, this is coming in your 8th house of you. So what does that mean? There's some things about the way that you feel or the way that you think that you feel. And I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to say that you're not feeling the way that you feel and the way you feel is false. That's not what I'm trying to say. However, I'm thinking that for you, you're putting too much emphasis in the way that you feel when this is about you're thinking like you're thinking about the next steps that you're taking, not necessarily how you feel about them. It's two different things. And the reason why you have to make a decision and to understand is to embrace this and say, okay, so am I thinking about this or am I feeling this? When you think about it, even though it's hard, it's difficult, it brings it to your subconscious, or it brings it to your conscious from your subconscious to deal with. When we feel things, we just say, oh, well, I just feel it. And you know what? Screw everything else. This is how I feel. So screw y'all. No, when we think about things like finance, when we think about things like marriage, when we think about things like our own psychological state of being and the way that we perceive ourselves in our existence, right? We start making better choices. We give ourselves choices. And this is what this is about for you. Because instead of you feeling like you're drugged into situations or you're victimized in situations, I'm not saying that you're not a victim, but I'm saying what it does is it gives you a position to have to where you actively say it's empowering. It helps you look at things differently. So the empowering part is you can say, okay, well, you know what? I choose this over here for my finances. I want to make more money. I want to get married. I don't want to get married. I want to have a prenup. I don't want to have a prenup. I want to get out of debt. This is how I'm going to do it. It puts you in a position of making active choices, and you're not in a position of letting things choose you or letting yourself just wait. What are we waiting for? That's the question you have to ask yourself, because you're not waiting on anybody else, because who you think you're waiting on, you're not. And what is opposing this? Your second house. Second house of what? Second house of Taurus. I get it. It's the opposite of you, but it's very physical. It's about assets. It's about property. It's about finance. It's about value. It's about self-value. And it has a form of security here. Okay. And you have to ask yourself the question of, okay, so what are you doing where you're devaluing yourself or you are limiting yourself, but you want more, where you want to go to the next level of what that looks like? It looks like for some of you guys, you get there through more education. You need some more experience, or you could take the experiences that you already have and put it to use. Okay. It looks like you say, okay, so for my business that I want to set up, because it's time, this is the type of assets that I want to make. This is the type of, sometimes all it takes is having the awareness that even if you fall off, because we know, with the Plutonian energy, the Scorpionic energy, it can go through cycles of rise and fall, or it can be there. It can rise and then fall, but need to rise again, however the case may be, but through the transformation process. So this is just really for you about saying, okay, so What did I have experience? What have I experienced before that I didn't like the way that it felt, or I did not like the outcome, but where I can come up back and experience again, or I need to refocus the lens. What is the vision? This is where we get precise on. What is the overall vision you see for yourself, and what direction do you need to head in to get there? It's a question that you have to ask yourself. All right, Scorpio. Thank you for joining me for the full moon in Gemini. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, because I will be back. Hello, Sagittarius. So I'm back with the full moon in Gemini happening December the 4th for you in your 7th house. Wow. You know what that means? We're in relationships and affiliations, even with popularity, because there could be something that you do that is not popular. Something that you state, the stance that you have, a move that you make is not popular. But you have to ask yourself the question of, Sagittarius, do you remain true to you, or do you cater to the needs of the people and the relationships that you're in? Do you make other people feel good and validated, or do you make yourself? And this is the thing. It could come where you feel like you lost people in the process, or that they fell off, or they don't understand. They don't understand where you're coming from. Okay, I get it. And I feel that for you, this came rightfully so, because whatever choices you're making, you're doing it because you know you. Now, understand this. Be careful with misinformation. Gemini is here. It's in the 7th house, dealing with other people. People can come tell you stuff. People can come bring you stuff. You can see things that's not true. But your perspective, or the lens you're looking in, is making it true. But just because you're doing that too does not mean, like, you have a focused lens. It doesn't mean that what you're saying is not true necessarily. It can mean, or untrue necessarily. It can mean that maybe the extent of it is true to an extent. It's not, you could be not seeing all of the picture. So understand that. But this is the thing. You make a choice to possibly leave some people behind, or let some people go that's wanting to fall off, or that's needing to fall off. And what are you doing? What are you doing? You are coming back to self, because the opposition to other people is yourself. And you could possibly be seeing that people around you don't really share the same values that you have. You could be wanting somebody to be truthful. You could be wanting people to be loyal. You could be wanting, to have people learn stuff off of you, or you learn stuff off of them, however the case may be. But yet it seems that they're going to want to think what they think. It could be through gossip. It could be through whatever reason, or for whatever reason. They're going to want to, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Basically, you could bring a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. So you have to ask yourself the question of, is you going to just do what you do because it's what's true to you? Or, right or wrong, Sagittarius? Or are you going to try to explain yourself to some mofos that don't understand where you're coming from, just because they feel like you should be catering to them? They feel like you should be making them comfortable. Let's keep it real, baby. And we could just go and do it like this for Sagittarius. We just keep it real. Sagittarius is a sign known for progression, constant progression, and accomplishments. Sagittarius want to accomplish things. Sagittarius could be very talented. Sagittarius could be knowledgeable, experienced and stuff, like can do things over and over again and practice, constant at their craft, constant where they're moving forward, constant where they're advancing. And Sagittarius can also make other people feel validated, other people feel wanted, other people feel desired, even when it could go against their best interests. Who knew that that's what Sagittarius was doing all along? Well, up until some years back, a few years back. But what you could possibly see is that when you do that, you lose yourself. You question yourself. And maybe all of this was a trigger to actually put you on the path that you're supposed to be on, Sagittarius. Do you understand that? And not to mention, some of y'all are fine. I'm telling you, you know, and then maybe it's because I'm a Gemini and like it's my opposite. It's like Sagittarius is the opposite energy, but like sometimes like Sagittarius is a good amount of Sagittarius is be like fine, like attractive, you know. But this is the thing. So you have to decide: are you gonna argue with these people? Are you gonna argue to live your life? Are you going to debate these people so you can live your life and you can and do it on your own merit? Like I said, wrong or right, you can have an opinion, but that could be that's fine. You can have your own opinion. Let's use Nicki Minaj for an example. Some of y'all might get mad because, you know, she lost a lot of followers, but let's do real talk. I don't care. I'm just going to keep it real. She can choose what she wants to choose. And later on, she can come out and say she's sorry, whatever the case may be, or not. She can choose what she want to choose. Let me get off of here. Different or indifferent. All right, Sagittarius. It's time for you to put yourself first. It is time for you to go after what it is that you feel like is for your life and in your vision with great passion. You got the sun here, baby. Happy birthday. You got Venus here, baby. That's what you're going to attract. And then that's how you're going to align yourself with the relationships that's supposed to be there, that's prosperous, that bring material gains and money. And these people trying to convince you, you know what you want. You know what's there for you in your life. All right. So like the video, subscribe to the channel because you know I'll be back. Hello, Capricorn. All right. So you're having a full moon in Gemini take place in your 6th house of work. So something you have to make a decision on work, something that you want to work on. A certain job you want to do? Are you going to keep up with your health routine? You have to make a decision about your approach to make what you want to make work. If you had to make a decision on what that would look like, on what you would do, how you would set that up, what would it be? That's what you got to ask yourself the question of, because everything else you got to let go or put on the back burner. Everything else you got to let go and put on the back burner. And you have to change your perspective around work. Some of y'all, you want to be having multiple streams of income. What are you doing that's preventing you from having multiple streams of income? What do you need to do in order to have those multiple streams of income? You want to work on your health. What are you doing to jeopardize your health? Are you having your doctor's visits? Or are you getting your checkups? Are you nourishing your body? Are you drinking your water? What's opposing you, baby, is the 12th house, because that's where Venus is at. You feel like, oh, you know what? I don't know, who's for me. I don't know who I love. I don't know who loves me. Baby, you got some crushes that's on you. You got some crushes that's on you. Trust me. I'm telling you. This YN that I be sitting online, I keep talking about. You're probably like, would you please stop talking about that YN? He don't know that I got a crush on him, and he don't know it. So that's y'all. And you think that you could be like, oh my gosh, I'm undesirable, or what I'm doing. Maybe you change some sort of regimen to your routine or something like that. And you're like, oh, nobody likes it. Nobody's looking at me. Baby, they are, but they probably just not saying anything. You think that there ain't no money to be made. Well, where do I go make this money? How do I get these multiple streams of income? You got to go get it. You got to see it. You have to possibly produce it, provide it, whatever the case may be. You got to see it. Why? Through opening yourself up to those experiences, learning about it, listening to other people. There's some sort of teacher or somebody that has some sort of valid information that is going to share some jewels with you. And this is going to help you in your area of work, finances, making money, making things work for you. Can't be afraid of it. And you can't just get information and not use it, baby. Woody. You can't just get information without using it. You have to decide, what are you going to do to make these multiple streams of income work? What are you going to do to do the job? Because some of y'all working a job that you don't really want to work. Not for long term. You want to make changes. So what are you going to do to do that? All right, Capricorn. Like the video, subscribe to the channel because I will be back. Hello, Aquarius. You have a full moon happening in the sign of Gemini in your 5th house of the self, of self-expression, of passion, of dating. I don't know. Maybe you retiring and you hanging up the maybe you found a one. Maybe you're hanging up this dating thing, dating around and around. Maybe you want to just maybe you're tired of like the same flavor, the same interest, the same way, the same type of person. You could be noticing that you deal with the same type of people, the same type of personalities, and the same type of way you go about getting them. There could be some sort of talent or some way that you're seeing yourself, some way that you are expressing yourself, that is run out. It's not going to last you much longer. You want to do something different, right? What is that? So you got to make the choice. You have to make the choice. Are you going to be trapped in your ego or you want something real? Because the fun in the games is costing you right now. It's costing you something. It's taken away from what you really want in life. Yeah, because you're running from it. You want what? What do you want? Come down here to your 11th house because this is what's also blocking you. What's blocking you is you. Because it's 11th house, you moving forward, you facing your fears, you expanding, right? Maybe new friends. You need new friends, new acquaintances, new affiliations. You might have to come out your comfort zone. You might have to set up and see the vision that you have for yourself in your life and actually follow that, right? Maybe you realize like you're interested in people from different cultures or people like that has different experiences from you or the same. Because you could be when you're coming from the 5th house, it could be you have a certain type or approach and you want something different or you want something similar. It just depends on what's the opposite of what you've been doing. And in your 11th house as well, it's something that you really, really want to go after. You really, really want to have, but you could possibly have been limiting yourself through people, through relationships, or through the way that you see things, your understanding and your perspective on how you see yourself. But you have to see yourself greater, worthy of having more, and embracing that. Maybe in love and relationships, you want your relationships to take on a friend, like someone that's going to be your friend, not someone that just follows you blindly. That could be what you're interested in. And someone that's different. You want a different experiences in relationships, affiliations. And this is the thing, and what it is that you want and what it is you go towards. Some of you guys may need to approach life in your form, in a humanitarianism form. Like what area or what lane you can go down that actually helps other people. and it gets you what you want in the process. You want these new experiences. You want to go towards that vision that gets you what you want. You got to do things differently than what you typically do. You know, all right. Thank you, Aquarius, for joining me. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, because I will be back. All right, Pisces. So Pisces, you have a full moon happening in the sign of Gemini in your 4th house, home, family, security. And for you, maybe it's time for you to let go of a home or some sort of situation that you depended on for your security, even emotional security. Like, you could see that differently now, and you could be letting go of the way you've always seen things, because when it comes to security, we're talking about finances. And for some of you guys, you could have played it safe, or you only did what you knew, what you were taught, what you've seen in your immediate environment, and now it's calling for you to expand. You know, not that you can't have your feelings, and not that you can't rely on family and support, but at the same time, maybe the support that you're looking for right now, other people can't provide it for you right now. And what is blocking you from this security? What is blocking you from coming out your comfort zone? And this is your 10th house of work, work and career. So this is more about you doing practical things. It's okay to do those things that make us feel good. It's okay to want to do that. It's okay to want to feel supported. But right now, you have to ask yourself of, where are you limiting yourself with these thoughts? Where are you limiting yourself? Where do you need to pick up and press on anyways, regardless of the support you think that you need? Because the support is going to come. So it's time for you to move forward in your career. And it's time for you to expand, and you have to come out of your own personal comfort zone to do it. All right. Thank you, Pisces, for joining me. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, because I will be back. Ew.